Hey y'all, Iric Sky here, and I wanted to share my feedback in regards to a common question that drone users have often asked. Now, like any other technology, the technology has rapidly evolved for drones. Now we're seeing, and it's my favorite drone at the time of posting this, the DJI Phantom 3 Professional that has a 4K, that's right, 4K ultra high definition camera. So by going to such a high resolution camera, now keep in mind, and you may have seen my previous video where I explained what 4K is in a simplistic fashion. So you've got 1080p HD, which is what most of us are accustomed to. It's likely the type of television that we're watching at our home, you know, from our local cable or satellite provider. And when you're dealing with ultra, or when you're dealing with full HD, which is often just referred to as high definition or HD, you've got 1920 by 1080 resolution. Now when you jump up to 4K, the best way to visualize it, if this controller was 1080p HD, for 4K you've got a controller here, you've got one beside it here, you've got one on top of it here, and you've got one on top of it there. So it's 4 times the physical size. Now what's the significance of that? A lot of people say, oh man, you don't need 4K. Well, I do need 4K because I'm future-proofing all of my content. So every camera that I have now on Iric Sky's Adventure channel, including the camera that I'm filming this with, is 4K because I'm future-proofing my content. But from a drone perspective, and this is something that may satisfy even many photographers, from a drone perspective, especially with the Phantom 3 Professional, and you can check the link within this video's description to find where to order it and the accessories online. But from a drone perspective, with the Phantom 3, for example, you've got the option of still photos and or videos. So with a battery with approximate flight time of, let's just say roughly about 23 minutes, you're tasked with the decision, well, if I film video continuously, then I should be able to capture every key moment. But what if I want to get a photo? You know, should I stop and frame those shots? And when you're doing that, to take that time to do that, you're consuming battery life while you're flying. So my personal opinion, and this yours may be different, and that's perfectly acceptable, but my personal decision that I've made is that when I fly the Phantom 3, I completely disregard the still photo function. And why do I do that? Well, what I can do, I can start the video before I take off, and obviously I could stop and start it while it's flying if I wanted to. But I'm going to start the video before I take off. That way every moment of the flight is captured. So if I'm circling around an object, I'm continuously filming video. Then what I can do, when I return to the studio, I import the video that I captured, 4K, which is awesome. And I take that video, import it into Final Cut Pro on my iMac with Retina 5K display, and at that point what I can do, I can look at the video frame by frame within Final Cut Pro. And then within Final Cut Pro, I can find that key moment where everything was lined up perfectly. And I can do a save frame. So in essence, from that continuous 4K video, I can then extract a still photo that is 4 times the physical size of HD. So for me, it's a no-brainer. Because for me, if I'm using a still photo, it's something that I'm likely using on social media. And if I'm using a still photo, even though my videos are filmed in 4K, the biggest thumbnail that I typically use right now is a 1920 by 1080. So I'll shrink that screen capture that I caught from the 4K, that I captured from the 4K, down to 1920 by 1080, and I'll turn it into the perfect YouTube thumbnail. Some other scenarios where I may use that is, you know, just web page graphics on 400orbelow.com. You know, I may get that perfect aerial shot and then shrink it down to, you know, something small like 500 by something. But it's the fact that the original image that I captured from the 4K video was so large, so it's easy to downsize and still have outstanding quality. So for my purposes, extracting a still from continuous 4K video is just as good. Actually, it's better for me. It's more optimal for me because that way I've got that entire video, the flight for the entire video, because I film continuously throughout the flight. So I've got the video that I can use for my YouTube video purposes, creating these cool flying videos on Irish Guys Adventure channel. And then I've got the ability to go through that and cut out any number of stills, any number of still photos that I choose to do so. So it's a double whammy. I'm getting every key moment, and I'm having the luxury of going back in post-production and creating as many still photos as I want. So this is just something to chew on. I know photographers, for the most part, are sticklers for detail, and honestly, most photographers, if they're using a drone, if they're really, really sticklers, they may even go as far as getting like a Lumix GH4 and strapping to the bottom of a hexacopter. But for your average Joe like myself on Irish Guys Adventure channel, filming continuous 4K with a Phantom 3 Professional is absolutely dead on optimal. Now, obviously, as technologies evolve, and I'm in no rush. I know 8K is out. It's the next big thing, but until I don't want to future-proof that far yet. Right now, I think future-proofing, in my opinion, is 4K. So if I can get, which I have, I've gotten everything in 4K format, I feel that I should be good for a few years. Now, when all the 4K TVs become the norm like HD TVs are now, and then the 8Ks are out and the prices start dropping like 4K TVs have now, that's when I'll start to adopt 8K video. But I'm not going to do it before because 8K, as far as we know, may just be an interim step before the next greater thing that's greater than 8K. So these are my thoughts. And again, I'm more of a video guy. So if you're more of a photographer, you may not agree with what I just said, but I want to hear your feedback, and that's why I posted this video. And it's something that, and if you're not very savvy with video and/or photo, this video may have provided you with some insight that you may not have even thought about. So drop me a line if you have any questions. Share this video with others. Be sure to subscribe, youtube.com/IrixGuy, and check the link within this video's description. I've got all kinds of drones in there, drone accessories, drone how-to. It's all there on 400 or below. So thanks for watching, and y'all have a good day.